Looks like we're live, right? I've got Dimitri sitting over there and watching. So I am apparently going to be solo tonight. So I'm going to take a minute and get my...
It's a medical condition.
Right. So welcome everybody. I'm Denise, and tonight we are going to be talking about dandruff and how to get rid of it. And Dimitri was in his pajama pants all day, so he decided not to come and participate in this because it was going to involve him getting out of his pajamas. So it's just me. But in the end, he decided that it was a medical condition and he thought that he would let the doctor treat it. And so that's why you get me. So I've had a couple of people ask me about dandruff and some issues they experience with it, some really significant problems with what they actually describe as dandruff, but not. They have some little scabs almost that are in the scalp. And, you know, when I look at them, it's not dandruff. So let's kind of talk about what dandruff is and what dandruff isn't. Dandruff is actually a chronic condition, and it occurs from the scalp being dry, or it can be greasy, and it can produce these flakes of dead skin, and that's really what you see. So, you know, there's Head and Shoulders commercials where they have or the Selsun Blue, don't wear black without the blue, right? So the black sweater, and they have all this stuff on there. That's the dead skin flakes that are coming off the scalp. And it happens at different rates in different people, you know, for sometimes different conditions. So when you have dandruff, it can be shed at a much faster rate, so those cells turn over at a faster rate, and that's the problem that you get. About 40% of people over the age of 30 have that, so since I am only 31, I would fall into that category. But nonetheless, you know, what it tells you is it's a chronic condition, and it's very, very, very common. So there's lots of different causes of it. And sometimes it can be just dry skin. People have dry scalp. You can have psoriasis of the scalp that can cause that. You can get this seborrheic dermatitis. That's these little scales that you get in there that just kind of, like, you almost pick them off. They're yellow and greasy plaques that are in there. Like cradle cap, but not really cradle cap for, you know, it occurs in adults. Eczema can also occur, and that can occur in the scalp and cause what seems like dandruff. And then you also have overgrowth of yeast, and that can be due to stress, hormones, immune system suppression, all kinds of things like that. So all of those things can be causes of dandruff and can be important causes. So you really need to figure out what you're trying to treat in order to get rid of the dandruff, because just using some Head and Shoulders shampoo, it's only going to work for about 50% of people. Symptoms of it can be just as I described, but it's a dry, itchy scalp, and you're going to see these little, you know, flakes that occur when you do that. You know, if you're checking in between in the scalp and looking in there, you're going to see a little bit of it. It's going to be a little bit more. So in looking at treating these causes, the number one thing that you can do is to avoid products that are going to dry your scalp. What are things that are going to dry your scalp out? Those are products that contain alcohols. And although there's many different types of alcohols, you have moisturizing alcohols and drying alcohols, you know, you've got to stay away from those alcohols that are going to dry out the scalp, because that's going to increase your risk for developing these dandruff and the flakes. There are shampoos that dry. You know, these shampoos that are in there, not just styling products that contain alcohols, but shampoos that contain some things that can dry out your scalp, anything that would not balance your pH. So also can cause that. So when you're talking about treatments, you want to try and balance that pH. That's really important. Now, this is going to sound counterintuitive, but using an oil in there can also be really helpful, especially with people that have that seborrheic dermatitis, where they have those little plaques or scabs. Using something like Rejuvenate oil and just putting a few drops in your hands and then just putting it through the scalp, letting it sit on there for 15 minutes, absolutely clears this up. It's amazing how it will clear up this condition. So using that, and then using something like Renew shampoo or something that really balances the pH, something that will be a good clarifying shampoo and really cleanse and get in there and get all of those other products out that can build up and cause that problem on the scalp. So those are two really, really, really basic things. There are some home remedies for balancing that pH, like apple cider vinegar. Apparently people are, putting it in recipes, they're putting it in their morning drink, and they're putting it in their hair. But long term, I'm not really sure, how effective that is, and I haven't seen any studies that are showing how effective that is either. The other thing you can do to help distribute the oils is brushing at night. And Dimitri loves to mention the boar's bristle, not boar's head, isn't that? That's, what is that, Dimitri? That's
meat.
the meat. Yes, I knew there's something. I'm getting the boar's head meat at the deli counter. So no, the boar's bristle brush, that will distribute those oils and help pull that out of there. And, lastly, one of the things you want to do is, if it is a yeast cause of this dandruff and this dry scalp and all of that, you're going to need to treat with medicated shampoo like ketoconazole. So something like that would be really beneficial. That I would not recommend until you've ruled out other causes. It's really simple to determine the cause. You're going to see these plaques if you have that seborrheic dermatitis. Super easy to figure out. That can be treated with just some oil, the right shampoo, and continue using those. Don't go back to your crappy shampoos, because it's really going to come back. That's the problem. It will come back. Eczema. So eczema is a condition of the skin where inflammation can occur. You want to keep that inflammation down. Anti-inflammatory, balancing pH in the scalp is also really beneficial for anti-inflammatory action. So, as a cause, that eczema, you can treat that. And then not using those really crappy products that are going to cause some of those conditions that cause buildup and dry the scalp. That's all that I have for you guys tonight. It's pretty simple stuff. And, if you guys have questions about that, or questions about the products that we mentioned here, or I mentioned, I'm so not used to doing this by myself.
If you have great, baby.
Thank you. The Peanut Gallery chimes in. So if you guys have questions about that, or about some other medical conditions or something, certainly ask me. I'll be happy to answer about the medical conditions that can lead to hair issues. And then we are going to post the winner for last week. So we've got a free product, so we're going to post that on Stylist Secrets in just a few minutes. So anybody that shared the video last week onto their timeline was entered into a drawing, and as promised, we're going to announce that and post that to the lucky winner. Now, same contest for this week. If you share this post onto your timeline, then we will enter you into a drawing to win a free product, and we will announce that next week. So make sure that you share that, and that does it for tonight. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone, because we will not see you until next Sunday.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And if you need anything, just reach out. Have a good one.